In recent years, I see a lot of black people trying to teach other blacks about black history, and I don't understand it. How can we learn our history from ourselves? We need Massa to teach us. Massa has well documented the history of all mankind, so we need Massa to teach us and not some black man or woman who has done extensive research. I know Massa came after us and that we were the first humans on Earth, but since they studied us so well, wouldn't they be a more reliable source for teaching us about us? I know that black scholars have researched ancient documents, heard oral histories from our people who have continued in our traditions, reviewed our artifacts, hieroglyphics, scrolls, read written accounts of eyewitnesses to the past. But that can't be compared to what Massa has researched. I know that Massa has tried to rewrite history, destroyed ancient artifacts, defaced obviously Negroid statues, scraped brown paint off of ancient Egyptian walls during their so-called conservation work to mask the true color, gave strange explanations for the dark hue of ancient paintings, dug up ancient ancestors from their graves and prepped them with blonde and red wigs, created their own modern statues of historically black people and transformed them into white figures to try and deceive the masses, and redefine what it means to be black by claiming that dark skin is not an indicator in order to divide us as dark people. But Massa is still the best source for learning the truth about our past. I say this because they write all of the textbooks. So shouldn't we all just listen and learn from Massa since they own billion-dollar publishing corporations? I mean, shouldn't that count for something? Not to mention, Massa owns all of the major discovery, geographical, historical, and exploration channels and cable networks. This means that their information is more reliable, right? I know that many times when Massa goes on a truth-finding mission, he sometimes twists the truth, just a little bit or maybe a lot. But that is no reason not to listen to what Massa has to say. I know that Massa has made all of the prosperous, great ancient black cultures appear to be white in their movies, but that was just a slight oversight, right? I know that Massa will feature himself as the hero in every production and blacks as the ignorant, dumbfounded, nitwit, step-and-fetch-it nincompoop, but Massa only does that so we can all have something funny to laugh at. I mean, aren't black people the funniest people in the world? That's all Massa's trying to do, is get people to see just how funny we are. Shouldn't we appreciate that? I know that we have wonderful, well-learned, thoroughly researched, and academically learned blacks such as John Henry Clark, Stokely Carmichael, Marcus Garvey, and others, but I think even a hillbilly white man is better equipped to teach us our history because that white skin makes him more superior. There seems to be a plethora of black people coming forth teaching our history. But I think I'll stick with Massa. Thank you very much. I know that 84% of the teachers in the U.S. are white, and that this country has one of the worst academic records compared to some third world countries. But maybe our students are just unteachable. White teachers being 84% in this country only proves that they know more than we do, despite the failure to properly educate this nation's children. White teachers teach black history so well because they take out all of the bad stuff so that our children don't have to feel inferior. They don't see the point in teaching us the truth about slavery or where we were before slavery because they don't feel we need to know. Could it be that they are right to only teach us about a handful of blacks such as Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Frederick Douglass, and Malcolm X? Isn't that good enough? Since we live in the land of our captivity, isn't it better that we learn about the people who captured us and founded this great nation? Those such as Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and George Washington are those who we should concentrate our learning on. I hear that Lincoln freed us poor slaves, so shouldn't we be thankful to him? And Thomas Jefferson liked black folks so much because he had babies with a black slave. And George Washington loved us so much that he bought a lot of us and kept us as his personal property. He even fed us good. We had pig feet for days. So black folk, please stop trying to teach us that we are the people of the Bible. I am happy with the Hollywood production showing Moses played by none other than Charlton Heston. It looks more realistic because that's all I know. I know that Moses was mistaken as an ancient black Egyptian, but that don't mean nothing to me. I know that Paul and Joseph were also mistaken as ancient black Egyptians, but so what? I saw a clip from a documentary online where a guy went on a tour through Egypt and was shown the image of the biblical Joseph looking just as black as Wesley Snipes. I also know that his brothers who sold him into slavery didn't recognize him when they came to Egypt because he blended in so well with the other black folk. But is it really important to know what the ancient Egyptians and Hebrews looked like? So what if they were black? Also, I keep hearing people call him my Jesus, Yahshua. So what if that's the name the messengers told Mary to call him? We don't have to listen to them because I hear white folks are the children of angels anyway. So we can just keep on using the name that they gave us for the Son of God. Why should we use Yahshua, the name given by the Almighty himself? That makes no sense when Massa told us to call him Jesus. I know that the white image of Jesus that is widely circulated is a recreation of Caesar Borgia, the gay son of Pope Alexander VI. I also know that the Pope said that the entire Vatican needed a makeover and commissioned Leonardo da Vinci to recast Jesus in the image of his beloved son instead of the original dark Negro Messiah shown on the catacombs of Rome. But what difference does it make? We can serve a gay white image of Jesus so long as we keep Massa happy. They ain't comfortable serving no black Yahshua, so let's just keep on serving the white Jesus to keep down confusion. I don't think God cares if we serve a false image as long as we keep Massa happy. Forget about the hair like wool and feet that look like they burned in the furnace. Blacks teaching black history makes just as much sense as the sun rising in the east and setting in the west. And yes, it does matter what the ancient people look like. Our children need to know that the human landscape has changed over the centuries and that those occupying ancient black lands and civilizations are imposters, identity thieves, and truth twisters. Ancient Egypt, ancient Israel, Asian countries, Northern Africa, and the so-called Middle East were black lands and cultures. For that matter, even the Americas. The so-called Middle East is named as such to create a false image and lineage to the ancient people. Those occupying our land today are a mixed race of European people who conquered us and our lands. It's no different than what happened with the Native Americans. Europeans came here, they conquered and they killed, stole from and destroyed the original inhabitants of this land. That does not erase the fact that there were others here before them. The conquest of the Europeans doesn't give them the right to erase the history of the indigenous people. We do matter, and all things hidden will come to light. The truth will be revealed. The revealing of truth is not hate speech, and those who consider it as such are simply afraid of the truth. Just remember this, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.